Oh, hi. Looks a little bit better. I can see myself a little bit better. I have no idea why the camera was so crappy. But anyway, it really doesn't matter if this looks good or not, because I can't, do this sort of thing. I'll be using this as my main camera here to talk to. And because for one thing, I feel with this, it will be deleted anyway. You know what I mean? So this will be my back and forth here. Yeah. All right, I'll continue now. Is this recording? Is it? Huh. Let's see here. I have a feeling this series called Hi. I have a feeling that this series called Sunan Abu Dawud. Okay, yeah, it's working here. Is this working now? Okay, I don't know. Well, hey, hi. If it doesn't record, I'll just do it all over again here. Okay. All right. All right. The continuation of this video series called Sunan Abu Dawud 22150 in the spotlight again. Looks like it's going to go on for a while. Yeah, which I don't mind. Anyway, when I do my words, I'll be using this on my face. When I use the Muslims, I'll be using this, plus I'll do the mock Arabic accent. Okay. Continue here. You ignorant! You say, Satan sleeping in your nose. Don't believe the Sahih, sound, authentic hadith that says such lunacy? Or are you going to suddenly go back to being a Qurani and say you don't believe in the hadith, even though the hadith that says this is Sahih, sound, authentic? Locke. Where the heck Locke is? Never heard of this. Never heard of it, huh? Never heard of it, huh? Is that why you are still a Muslim then? But if Allah says it, then it is true. If it's true, why must one wash your nose out 3 times to get Satan out of your nose, like the Sahih, sound, authentic hadith also has most saying? Guess what? I never wash my nose out, and I can only breathe through it. I mean, I can breathe through it fine, but if Satan actually slept in it if he actually slept in the upper interior of my nose at night, he didn't hurt my sense of smell, for I smell very well. So, why wash your nose out like the Sahih authentic says as well? Why? What is that you are trying to get out of your body when you meditate? Okay, what does this have to do with washing your nose out to have to do with meditation? I have no knowledge of this, and I don't claim to know everything. Well, I have knowledge of this, and that's why my patootie isn't up in the air 5 times a day, every day, for the rest of my life on a prayer rug. Yeah. Likewise, you don't know what form Satan and his kind can take. I gotta see how much more time I have on this thing here. Okay. Yeah, alright. Don't tell me. Satan and his kind take the form of snot. True? The hormones, etc. Allah knows the best. Even if they do take the form of hormones, what's the point of washing your nose out 3 times a day in the morning? I mean, yeah, wash your nose out if they don't cause you problems with breathing, smell, and whatnot. Do you think the average Muslim who washes his nose out 3 times to get Satan out lives longer than the average infidel who doesn't wash out his nose every morning? Think, O slave of the best of deceivers. Think. Oh, shit, I was supposed to have, I got a little confused here, but that was me talking. Okay. Yeah. I have heard one saying, and it is really brilliant and perfectly applies to you, which is, it says never debate with the ignorant, stupid people. Really? Well, I'll turn this all into videos to keep your words just as they are and see if people agree with you that I'm ignorant and stupid, okay? They drag you down to their level and win by experience. Aren't you, as a Muslim, supposed to say I'm losing and you are winning when it comes to discussing Islam? Is this what you are trying to do? No, I'm not trying to drag anyone down here. I'm trying to get you to use the brain the real God gave you, not the Islam-generated brain of the best of deceivers that makes you believe anything it says by threatening you with eternal burning if you start thinking. Believe me, I'm not trying to drag you or anyone down here. Guess what? I was ignorant too. Until you took a plane flight from Europe to the States and actually saw the sun running to a resting place to set in a murky spring. You sure? As I have some experience down at your level as well. Saying so doesn't make it so until you give good reasons other than something lame like because Islam makes me feel centered or because Islam is the only religion that makes me feel at peace. Give, which any kind of religion can do for you, give examples that can be grasped by an atheist, please. You're ignorant. You say, what is the point? You say 2 + 2 = 5. Lock! No, it is you who say that. How so? I say go to the source and you argue that translation is reliable and just good as the source. Which source? You are wrong. Wrong about which source? Sunan Abu Dawud 22150? If you are talking about that source, well, again, since you say you put it through Google Translate, then that means you have found that Sunan Abu Dawud 22150 in Arabic to put it through Google Translate. Thus, again, where on the net did you find a Sunan Abu Dawud 22150 to do that with? You know, actually, I hadn't read that part yet. But what he did, he provided something they said was Sunan Abu Dawud at 22150. But when I put the first part through the web browser, it actually took me to Muslim. So he Muslim 83432. And later on he tells why. It's funny. Okay. You're ignorant. You say, is, quote, in the presentation of their husbands false, for it really is in the presence of their husbands who were unbelievers that you, a Muslim, are able to rape a married woman and add more meaning to the first part of Quran 424 that says, forbidden to you are married women except, that's the key word here for the evil here, because you're not supposed to have sex with married women. You know, it's forbidden. But it's not forbidden if she's your right hand possessed. Then you can have sex with that married woman. Yeah. Except with your right hand possessed. Slave, captured, war. In other words, African American complaint for the time you had slavery goes right out the window. Manipulating to you. Lock. Yes, it is, as it is not in the original text. If so, and your taqqiya, line for all. Taqqiya, line for Allah. Where is that original text? Where is that Sunan Abu Dawud 22150? If you're talking about that source, well, again, since you say you put it through Google Translate, then that means you have found Sunan Abu Dawud 22150 in Arabic to put it through Google Translate. Thus, again, where on the net did you find a Sunan Abu Dawud 22150 to do that with? You know, and when, of course, I found out. Yeah, and when. Go find it and tell me you said you found it and put it through Google Translate. So you tell me where to find that thing in Arabic that contradicts what I have discovered it's saying, okay? Here you go, lock. Whatever the hell that lock means. Here you go, lock. Here you go, lock. These are the Arabic words which can only be translated as, quote, in the presence of their husbands. I dare challenge you. I have always been what? You failed to do this so far. Failed to do what? It took me seconds to prove you're wrong when I put the original text into Google. Again, where is that text in Arabic on the internet to see if you're taqqiya-ing? Line for Old Owl. Where? Why can't you do the same? I would, if I could find that site of which you speak that contradicts all the Sunan Abu Dawud 220 and 50s I've come upon on the net. You ignorant say, I have a disease in my heart. Right? Yeah. You say, I don't have a disease in my heart. Right? You cannot get protected from magic by eating dates, etc. Where did I say that? Luck. So, you believe in magic, but not the existence of Satan and its kinds? No. You're twisting my words. I asked you if you believe the Sahih Hadith that has Muhammad saying, you'll be protected all day from both magic and poison if you eat a certain number of dates. In other words, 7 of them. Apparently you do, since it's Sahih, sound authentic Hadith. True? You believe that, right? Of course, he'll never make a video where he's eating cyanide after eating them, I bet. Dude, you are killing me here. You can eat all the date trees in the world, and if Allah wants to harm you, there's nothing you can do. What does that have to do with what Muhammad said in the Sahih, sound authentic Hadith about eating 7? It has to be 7. Ajwa dates protecting you all day from both magic and poison. Are you trying to change the subject? This is the attitude of a Muslim. Right, a Muslim named Allah's Apostle. And apparently you don't believe in him about eating those 7 dates in the morning, true? There are jinns, and there is a whole surah in the Quran. What does that have to do with eating 7 Ajwa dates protect you all day from both magic and poison? What you call magic is perhaps the contract between a jinn and a human. This is strictly forbidden in Islam. So, what does that have to do with eating 7 Ajwa dates, protecting you all day from both magic and poison? I would say do not go near it. Okay, but again, what does that have to do with eating 7 Ajwa dates, protecting you all day from both magic and poison? Ignorant, you ask, going back to Qurani? Change the subject again. Well, luck never left becoming one. How can you be a Qurani if you believe even in the Hadith? Aren't you then a Sunni Muslim and not a Qurani who only believes in the Quran and thinks the Hadith makes Muhammad sound evil and stupid? Kind of like a Charles Manson that had an army. It is the main source, not Hadith. Right. Prophet Muhammad made many mistakes, and he has been warned in the Quran as well. Well, he made mistakes? The exalted man made mistakes? What kind of mistakes? He is human just like us. I will take his word and obey as long as it does not conflict with the Quran because of 2 reasons. 1, he can potentially be wrong. Wow, Muhammad can be potentially wrong? 2, enemies of Islam have corrupted the Hadith. He thinks that Muhammad can be wrong. And yet he was trying to say that he's right about the dates, about sleeping your nose and stuff. Oh well. If true, why were you trying to defend the Hadith about Satan sleeping in your nose and Ajwa dates? Can you make up your mind, please? See how many minutes are left here. Oh shoot. Okay, I'll quit here. Bye.